Thank you for listening to We Need to Talk with Solana. Hit that like button, share, and leave a comment. Let us know what issues are important to you. What is what is going on? I mean, okay, first of all, I've just been connecting with you for like the last 10 minutes because that's what I do, right? I start connecting before I call.
Okay.
And just so I can, I clear everything that I was doing before and get into you. And boy, my neck, the back on the left side, has just been like feeling like a strained muscle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something in the. Are you having neck issues? You feeling it? I don't know. Something's just
Mm.
like gripping. I'm like, ah.
Well, I'm always kind of tense on that side. So
Are you?
that could be what you're picking up.
Okay.
I do have stress issues, we'll say.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Totally, completely stress related. Because
Mm.
I feel like you're like me. You want to figure it all out. You want to take on the world. You want to you want to give all the answers, have all the ducks in a row, rationalize, you know, justify, and we're in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
We are in the
Yeah.
well. I say we're not in the wrong spot. And it's frustrating though for us because we know the possibility. I think you see the possibilities, right? And you see the possibilities of what everybody can be, and if they would just A, B, C, D, um,
Right.
and then it's disheartening when you see that that's just not the way that the energy play is happening.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
It,
know.
it, sometimes it's like, are they blind or they just, are they afraid or are they just stupid? It's like, nose in front of your face kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
you just kind of have to shake your head and go, okay.
Yeah, and that's why I have to always come back with it's the energy play. Forgive them for they know not what they do. Literally.
Right.
I mean, there is so much, and it kills me that we have so much declassified come out that proves MK Ultra exists. What's MK Ultra? Mind control. Proves that HARP exists. What's HARP? It's weather control, mind control. Proves that DARPA exists. What is it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
CERN and everything else. These things exist in our physical reality, but we've been lied to so much we can't even accept the reality of our physical reality.
How do people not remember, like many, many years ago, when they were seeding clouds, to change weather patterns and things like that? And I just had this conversation with my nephew who's 39, and he's like, well, it's not like we can control the weather. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a second here.
Oh,
So I'm like,
hang
I
on.
was thinking,
Hang on. I'm doing a reading, Mom. No, thank you. Maybe after, thank you. Okay, Mama.
so I was thinking, well, he's young, he probably doesn't know that. So I pulled up a couple of links and, and made him look through it. And, his exact wording was, no shit. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I can show
you
you.
know, and
Geoengineering.com's got a list of companies that will perform weather control for a price.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
I mean, we do it.
And it's like people our age and people a little bit older than us have got to remember that they had been doing that all those years ago.
But
So
that's the key
they,
word, though, is remembering. We can't even remember what we had for lunch yesterday.
yeah,
But
yeah, true.
again, I think that's the frustrating part for us is that it becomes overwhelming and frustrating because it's like, thank God you've given me the sight of reality. At the
Right,
same time, you've also given me the sight of all this nefarious stuff going on.
right.
And okay, well, hang on. We can't look at just this and not look. It's like looking at the side effects, like doctors do today. They treat your side
Mhm.
effects and they don't look at the cause.
Right.
What's the
Yeah.
cause of all this? It goes beyond our physical, and it's been
Well,
going on for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years.
one of the most famous lines in a movie was you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, right? You know that movie.
Yeah.
And that is everything in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You can't get any more compact than that, because things like seeding the clouds and such, people have known that for years, but they either have since forgot, or they have since been told, no, that was just something that they were talking about trying to do maybe sometime in the future, not realizing or remembering that they did actually experiment with it and they did actually do it. So between then and now, that the technology
Hmm.
for changing the weather and the weather patterns has got to be astronomical,
Oh, heck yeah.
and they just,
But they're
I,
programmed
I,
too. I don't know if you've read my book, but I wrote a book called Satara, an acting code zodiac, and it's all about how AI took over Satara, which was the planet they were in before they went to Mars. And this AI, though, had the mechanism to just be able to, it's like a flash, and everybody would forget what had just happened.
oh, like Men in Black.
Like Men in Black, yeah, like Men
Okay.
in Black, where they've got that little thing that works on the people that are right there, but this thing works on thousands at once,
Well,
thousands, and not everybody. And then and I keep referring back to movies because art imitates life, and
absolutely.
we gotta
There's,
remember that. Take it out of the
there's
context
more
of
truth.
entertainment.
There are more truths in movies than most people realize.
Oh yes,
It's like they discovered many years ago that a lot of movies that had come out were actual factual things that were happening. So it's like, was somebody in Hollywood trying to actually keep people abreast of things that were going on in the background? Because it's just too
yeah,
coincidental, if you believe in coincidences, that they were on the money,
yeah,
about things that they made in the movie
it's
years
planned.
before it came out.
It's
Yeah,
planned.
so,
I mean, it's planned. It's planned.
yeah.
It's planned. It's not the nicest, kindest thing to have to realize, and that's why you can't handle the truth. But we've been lied to from birth.
Right.
Literally from
So,
birth.
well, if you put it in a movie, right,
Hmm.
and it becomes sort of commonplace
Yeah,
through movie,
normalized.
then when it does come to fruition in lifetime, people aren't doing the, wait a minute, what the hell? They're like, oh, yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard about this before. And they don't necessarily associate it was a science fiction movie that I had watched,
Hmm.
but, so it kind of softens the wow factor,
Hmm.
or the fear factor, because again, like you said, it's all programming, whether it's media or Hollywood or whatever, and they just kind of get us ready for these things that are coming about. So when they make it commonplace to us through movie magic,
Hmm.
we don't think twice about it.
Yeah, it's like
it
normalized and desensitized, and
yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
then you
People
still
have been.
believe whatever bull crap they tell you. It's like
Yeah,
what?
yeah. And after they convince you that this is the truth, and then they realize they screwed something up, they come on all the media things and say, oh, no, the whole thing was propaganda. Oh, no, that never happened. And then people go, oh, okay, as long as they didn't really do it.
I know
It's
and
just, it's
they
my,
change history. They change the narrative. They fit it to whoever. Remember, the victor is the one that's writing.
right.
The
Well, like
this,
I said, changing history. I recently saw a thing where somebody said, I'm a history teacher. And the person that was interviewing them says, you actually teach them true history, or do you teach them the history that's been twisted?
protocol. You have to go
Yeah.
follow the protocol. It's a program. And then don't even get me started on education system. That's just.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
whole thing needs to be revamped. So do many things that have been created need to be reformed. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not talking about our Constitution. But rather the things that it contains that we are due just for. Um,
Yeah.
I know, but anyway, that's why I'm feeling that stress from it all because it's overwhelming. It is frustrating. Trust me, I'm on the daily with it. It's frustrating. 'Cause, I'm just sitting here going, "Okay, God, it's up to you." I'm,
Wow.
I'm just at the
Yeah.
point where it's just like, okay, I can't. Um, I can only pray for everybody. I can't, fix everybody. I can't fix everything. But what is my part? And
Right,
that is the biggest thing for everybody, because they just feel like they're one person. They can't do anything, but we all have a part.
right,
It's a big puzzle, and we're all a piece of it. But we've been made to think that we're less than, and that's what the programming does. It keeps you down, it keeps you belittled, it keeps you frustrated, it keeps you in aggression, and it keeps you from realizing just how powerful we are. And it's not like we can, manifest an apple if we want to right now, but at the same time, just those seedings, like they did with the weather, those seedings is what we are, have been doing, planning to get everybody to the belief, though, that once we all come together in that
right.
energy and in that knowing, which they don't want. They don't want us to come together in that, and that's why they distract. And I tell you, anybody and everybody, well, too, everybody you've ever try to start a movement with, try to start a business with, try to get our, energy going into one area, and somebody just, puts a clink in it, and it's like, well, where the hell did that come from? I thought we had our
Yeah.
ducks in a row. But then, bam, no, you didn't. But it's
Mm,
not that we didn't. It's just that the energy comes in and destructs.
right.
It's destructive. It doesn't. That's why a lot of us just can't. And it's amazing to me how many light workers are in that boat where physically, they just
I
break
I
down.
am just, I'll tell you what, over the last 3 years, I have watched, yeah, unfortunately I have to kind of touch on politics a little bit, which I really want to
No,
stay
which
away
was
from.
another thing. No, you may want to stay away from him, but when I was connecting with you, you're very. It's because this has reignited a passion in you. This whole
Oh,
last couple of
absolutely,
years.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I've been watching all these light workers, as they call themselves,
Mm.
and they're out there on their pages giving these predictions about who's going to win the election, who doesn't. And then when that didn't go the way that it went, oh, well, they're going to be impeached by September. And then that didn't go the way that it was supposed to go. And, oh, well, is something happened, so it'll be January, February. And here we are 2 years later, and they're still making these predictions that are based out of their own hatred, dislike, political party, or whatever.
Programming.
And there's no place for that in the world of being a light worker. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk to somebody and have a political conversation, then put it forth as, well, this is my personal belief, this is my party line, this is how I believe in politics.
Yeah.
Not, I have an epiphany, I'm having this vision, I'm having this,
Or for certain, I just heard Marianne Williamson, and the only reason I'm going to call her out by name right now is because she is running for president in 2020. And I just heard her on a CNN town hall say that, she believes that Trump has done impeachable acts and should be impeached. And I'm sorry, I'm like, she's watching too much MSN, but she's part of the programming, part of the problem. You know,
you
I
ever hear of
mean,
syndrome?
yeah, TDS.
That's basically what it is. Like,
Yeah,
you use the word brainwashing with certain people, and they turn you off because brainwashing is a science fiction kind of a
it is a
thing.
fact.
But Stockholm syndrome is very, very real, and it is exactly that. It's programming and it's brainwashing essentially.
Hmm.
And you're convincing these people to live, think, and be a certain way, and they're not even realizing that they're doing these things not even of their own mind. It's like they have no thought pattern anymore. They're parrots.
Yeah, exactly. Mockingbird
You
media. I mean, it's the same theory as Trump derangement syndrome. It's the same as MK Ultra. I mean, it's just a different label, different name. It's just like every other year we go through the same crap, but we want to call it something different.
know,
It's like
absolutely,
it's all the same.
absolutely.
It's all the same.
But it
But
but it truly bothers me when you have these so-called light workers and people that I've
yes.
known for years, some people that I've even worked with or looked up to.
Hmm.
And you're aware of some of the people I'm talking about. I was mortified,
Yeah.
absolutely mortified. And then I believe I saw a videotape from the Dalai Lama himself that got into politics and went on to tell his followers that Trump is an evil person and just a bunch of other stuff. It was a while ago that I watched it, so I can't really, quote exactly what he said. But it was from that point on that I'm like, anything he says, turn the page. I'm not interested
Yeah.
because
He just
you
messed it up.
just,
Hmm.
yeah, your entire reputation, it's out the window. It's absolutely out the window with me.
Hmm.
If you and I are having a political conversation and let's just say you supported a different candidate than I did, you and I can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
You can tell me your points, I'll tell you my points, and the friendship goes on.
Right.
You're still a light worker, I'm still a light worker. But the minute you say to me, Annie, my guides told me that this person is, then I'm like, Solana out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't even have time for it. I used to be a
Yeah,
three strikes you're out, but now I'm a one strike you're out. I'm like,
yeah, they're
uh,
using their reputation as being a psychic, a medium, a light worker, whatever you want to label it. They're using their reputation and their followers to change people's way of thinking to their own.
hmm.
Whether
Yeah.
it's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter whether, the way you're thinking or your ideas on things are correct or not. The fact of the matter is you're using your fame, so to speak, to change people's minds to what you want them to be.
Hmm.
And it's just, that's not light working,
No, that's Hollywood.
you know.
Hollywood does it all the time. Politics do it all. They're two faced. They're two faced. You can't be. You can't be two faced. That's why we have such a bad reputation in our profession, because and it is a profession. Because I'm sorry, we've had to fall in line with the laws of the land.
I
But
can't tell you how many friends I have, Solana, that are all over Facebook and, anti-Trump, anti-this,
me
anti-anti.
too.
And then in private messages, actually send me a message talking about what a wonderful job he's done and how great the economy is and the jobs and this, that, and the other thing. And I asked them, so then why is it that you don't say these things on open forum?
Hmm.
And they basically say, because I just don't want to deal with the fallout.
Hmm.
And I'm like, then stop preaching about how you dislike this person. And they're like, well, he is crass. And I'm like, oh, hell, he is. There are times he's given speeches that I cringe. I absolutely cringe. But, I'm one of those people that you give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Whether it's with the president of the United States or another light worker or what have you, you give credit where credit is due. You cannot like a person personally, but you can't take away what they've actually accomplished.
Right. And if you knew
Does that
Trump
make sense?
before he ran, that's just the way he talks. That's just Trump. And so I don't cringe. I think his humor. He's got a sense of humor nobody picks up on.
I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, and I, everybody that was born and raised in New York knows Trump.
Hmm.
We've known him all our lives,
Yeah.
and sometimes he's done good, sometimes not so good, whatever. But he's a businessman,
Yeah.
And they don't realize. And I'm not trying to do the pro-Trump thing or
No.
whatever, but they take all of the good that this man has done. Like way back when with Mar-a-Lago, and letting Jews in and
And
letting
blacks.
gays
Yeah.
in,
Hmm.
and all the other country club people
For sure.
they were absolutely at odds with him because how dare you do that? Now we have to let Jews and gays and blacks in our clubs, and we don't want that, and he told them that was their problem.
Yeah.
And people have completely forgotten that
Hmm.
and believe the narrative and the agenda that the media is putting out there.
Right.
I
Again, they
mean, I
have
have,
so many odds working against them.
yeah,
And I don't like that saying that we need to get rid of it. That even bad press is good press.
yeah,
Because if that's what that light worker thinks, that hey, I'm going to keep this narrative going because I'm getting people liking my page. She's feeding the programming. And it's
right.
like no, 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 no. I don't want bad press. I don't want bad press. I get people talking about me crap all the time, and I don't want it. I want them to stop. I pray for them to stop. I don't want bad press. I don't want bad. I don't want to associate myself like that. And we got to get away from that. But it is programming, and we have to wake up to that it is programming, and it's sent at us through our technology, and just through being outside and your electrical poles and your electric meters, and there's just all kinds of things that are bombarding us with all these thoughts and all these, oh my God, would you even think or be and do? No, you wouldn't, but you are, because that's all you're getting. That's all you know. It's all, you're a receiver, and we could go on with chemtrails and the way they have these receivers in the paint now. And so you're painting your house, you've got the technology going, you've got the chemtrails all working together to make you one big satellite.
Right.
It's just crazy the way that and it's overlooked. We have all these things that's not new. Alex Jones has been talking about it for over 20 years. Not new.
And look what happened to him.
Oh yeah, they deplatformed him because he's speaking the truth, and people are like, "He's a Zionist." Really? I mean, he's a
Too
capitalist.
many people were listening to him, and too many people, I believe, were trying to go out of their way to disprove some of the things that he was saying, and come to find out that
It
they
was
couldn't.
true, yeah, because it was true. He was not. He was. Here's the thing: he wasn't making stuff up. He was reporting what was in the news. He would take.
Right.
I've watched him for years. He takes stacks of newspaper articles, and that's what he's reading from. He's reading from
That's
scientist journalists. He's reading the news.
right.
He's reading publications. He wasn't making it up. No, I mean he didn't make none of it up. He might have. He puts a spin because hello, he did try to become Hollywood, but he saw the crap that was going on over there, and he's like, oh, I'm out. So it's like he knows, he sees, he's a historian. He knows more about history than anybody teaching it today. So he's just a plethora of information, and they attacked him. But that's
History.
the programming. That's what they do. They attack what's good, and they attack what's telling the truth. And they attack, attack, attack. That's just their game. That's their play. That's
Well, they have to,
all they know.
because for people to uncover one truth, it starts a chain
Oh,
reaction.
gotcha.
So
Mm-hmm.
like the whole again, back to politics, with him saying he's going to drain the swamp, and in turn he was basically attacked, and the whole that 2 years worth of Mueller investigation, and really all it did was it churned up all of the muck at the bottom of that swamp, where you have people like Obama and the Clintons and whatnot, that they uncovered a lot about them. And when it got to that point where they know that they're not going to bring charges against either one of them,
They still deny and want to twist it.
they had to cut it off and say, "We found nothing." No,
Hmm.
you found something, because you arrested 34 people. You indicted 34 people.
But it had nothing to do with.
And the majority of them were Democrats who worked for Obama and Clinton administrations.
Hmm.
So no, you uncovered something.
Yeah, they did, but they want to twist even that. I saw Eric Swalwell. He's running for president also. And I saw an interview with him, and the interviewer was like, "Hey, the dossier is out. It's being now traced to Steele and GPS, or Fusion GPS, and to Clinton, and hello to Obama." And he's like, "Well, that's the way you're reading it." He's
You
like,
want to hear something? You want to hear something really funny? My husband and I were talking about this a long time ago, the whole dossier and stuff. And I said, "How much you want to bet the minute that McCain dies, they're going to blame it on him?"
and they did. Oh, they were blaming
And
it on
as
McCain before. If you watch The View, I saw one segment
to,
on
to
video.
degrees, yes, yes, to degrees.
Hmm.
But like, what was it, like 2 weeks after he
They
passed
did.
away?
They totally.
They
Yeah,
straight in his lap.
yeah, they did.
And my husband just looked at me and he's like, "I can't believe you called that." And I'm like, what are you going to do?
Right.
You know?
That's the
And,
players. That's what they do. They eat their own. They'll throw you under the bus. They'll make you do all
oh,
kind of crap, and then they'll say it was you.
yeah.
Um,
In a heartbeat. in a heartbeat. It's horrible.
That's the evil energy, though, and oh, it's even getting bad to where you can't even talk about the evil energy. What does that contain? It's devils and aliens and, and demons, fallen angels. They don't even want you talking about that. You can't even. I mean, we're so dogmad. We can't even
Yeah, what
talk
are they
about.
saying now? I read something that, when the hell did I read it? Yesterday sometime, I think it was, um, where they said if you believe in dogma, you know, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, dogma,
Dogma.
then you're an idiot.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, all right,
Wow.
you know,
Well, I mean, there are. That's the thing. There's truth in everything. And
hmm
that's the only reason rumors and lies, spread the way they do, because there are bits of truth in it, and people are like, oh, which one
yeah.
is, and then they make up shit to go along with what they think their truth is,
Oh,
and blah
yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
We,
Within every conversation, there always lies a little bit of truth.
right.
And it's like the saying, there are three sides to every story. There's his
Hmm.
side, there's his side, and then there's the truth. And that's not saying that either side is actually lying.
No.
It's just how they perceive things.
Hmm. And that's the thing with dogma. It's like we've just been a repetitive cycle of this teaching. And it's the perspectives, and it's really, people want to think they're all different, but when it comes right down to the core of it, no, they're not, because they're taught the same crap. You know, and we think that we have to be taught
Right.
how to love, how to hate, but it is something that's just permeating in our society that has been here for so long, and the underlying forces of it are evil. And it's
Yeah.
like you can't. I mean, we can debate it all day long, but it's good versus evil. It's always been good versus evil. And they pit us against each other and cause that division, cause destruction. That's their goal. And if that's a goal, do you think that's good? Is that a good thing? I don't
You
think it's a
know,
good thing.
whenever somebody's trying so hard to make you believe one thing over another, there's no good that's coming out of that.
Yeah,
I don't try to push my beliefs on anybody else.
yeah.
I don't. It's the same thing like with religion and stuff. Yeah. I don't believe that any religion is right or wrong,
Hmm.
but mostly I don't believe that any religion is wrong as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or anything. If it's what brings you closer to your creator, it teaches you right from wrong. How can it possibly be wrong? But if it teaches you to dog other people, to hurt animals or whatever, then I got a little bit of an issue with it. But,
Yeah.
I live and let live, but you start doing things that don't go with what you preach.
Well,
I
that's
got
the
an
problem. In most of the religions, the leaders are
issue.
going against their very words that they're trying to get their flocks to follow along with. They're doing as they please in the back.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the problem. It's again seeded with evil. Everything's
Mhm.
been infiltrated. There isn't one. It's just like there isn't one solid race. There isn't one solid race. We're all mixed. There isn't one solid. We're all a human race, but as far as our, genetic makeup, we've been mixed. we, we, we are all mixed, and
Absolutely.
so and then but this division and separation, and the religion division, it just keeps coming back on us. And so it's, again, I always want to get to the root of things. I don't want to just sit here and panhandle to the side effects, and panhandle to the belief that we got here because and start blaming. We got to take away blaming everybody for it, because there's underlying. It's gone underground. It used to be in your face, but we've been lied to so much. We don't even know what our real history is. We want to
Right.
believe it's just from the Bible, but I'm sorry, it's
Absolutely.
we're older than a couple thousand years.
Well, well,
It's been scientifically proven.
well, even if you take the holy stuff out of it, the Bible and the Torah and all the happy horse biking, you take all that out of it, and you're saying, rewriting history and whatnot, and one of the things that has always blown my mind. I've actually had conversations with friends of mine who are black about this, and it's like, okay, so you blame the white man for slavery. And they're like, well, yeah. I said, okay, do you know that the original slave traders that started it all are Muslims?
Yeah, they're like, what?
And they're like, what?
No, I never
And
heard
I'm like,
that.
I said,
Yeah.
do you know that slave trading still goes on to this day. As a matter of fact, I just brought up some pictures the other day of all these, I'm just going to say black, people that were just shoved in this big box
Herded.
for shipping,
Hmm.
you know. And this is going on today.
Today.
The other thing that I say to them is, okay, so let's just take the whole Muslim thing out of there, okay, and let's go with the white man did this to us. Okay, fine. You do realize that it was the chiefs of your tribes that sold you to the white man to begin with.
Right.
So where is your call for reparation from them?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, look at your history. Originally, you were sold by your own chiefs. Yes, later on, of course, people don't want to pay, so they go and they snatch and they steal people. Unfortunately, it's like it was a commodity at that time. And so then it became even more wrong. But originally it was the Muslims that were selling the blacks to the white people, and then the white people started going directly to the chiefs and trading over liquor and sugar, just like they did with the Native Americans, right? And then eventually they're like, well, why do we have to pay for this? We could just go grab them out of the bush, and that was the natural progression of things. But they tend to forget
I
the
don't want that
first two
in there.
portions
You
of
have
that.
to have a villain. You have to have a villain. Every story has to have, it can't be a Muslim villain. You can't even talk.
Not now.
We can't even have this conversation right now without being said
Right.
you're
Not
Islamophobia because you just said the Muslims started slavery. But
right. Not absolutely not. In
but that's
today's
that's the evil. I mean, thank you for listening to We Need to Talk with Solana. Hit that like button, share, and leave a comment. Let us know what issues are important to you.